Solid Foundation Israelite Academy 2019. I am your host, Shabar Judah Israel, bringing you guys another awesome lesson on tonight. Please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and as well share the video with family and friends. Once again, guys, this is another awesome lesson. I'm not going to hold you long. If you feel free to take notes, do so. If you don't, that's fine. But guys, the topic of discussion is that they got you rebuking Satan in the form of a mythical creature or unseen force instead of rebuking the actual heathen. I'm going to say that again. They got you rebuking Satan in the form of a mythical creature or unseen force instead of rebuking the actual heathen. Now, what do I mean by that? So let me get straight into it, guys. I got pictures I want to show you guys. I promise I won't hold you guys long. Watch this. All right. Okay, guys, I hope you can see this really well. I hope you can see it. Now, this is a group of brothers, a prayer team, that go out and about, basically doing like outreach ministry. But these guys are church-based. You should know by now, we don't roll with the church. We are the Hebrew Israelites, blacks, Hispanics, Latinos, and Native Americans. And the Most High God did not give us religion. He gave us laws, statutes, and commandments. But I want to touch on this imagery that you see before you. This is some brothers that's actually, in a circle, and they are rebuking Satan. Or you may say rebuking the enemy. Okay? Now, guys, please be sure to share this video because I'm going to open up your eyes on this. Now, your mother, your father, your grandmama, your granddad, when you was coming up as a little child, especially if they was heavily in the Christian church, they would walk around the house, right? They would walk around the house and they would start praying, anointing the walls, the doors, and so forth. It's pretty much the same thing they do in church. And as they began to pray, they would rebuke Satan. They would say, Satan, I rebuke you by the blood of Jesus. I rebuke you. Satan, I cast you in the pits of hell. I rebuke you. You devil, you old devil, flee. And so when they are praying, they don't actually understand that, okay, this is not the devil. This is not Satan. This is a mythological creature. This is fictitious, fabricated imagery, and it was basically made up. This is not Satan. This is not the devil. All right. But, many have been led to believe this is how Satan looks, or what you may call the devil. So when they are praying, this, when you see such activity here, they actually think that they are rebuking like some mythological unseen force or some mythological unseen creature. So they believe this. You see, and this is why it's important for you to awaken and come into the truth as a Hebrew Israelite. Because if you do not and you remain in the Christian church, when you pray, you're going to continue to say, I rebuke you, Satan, in the name of Jesus. I rebuke you, old devil. Get thee behind me, you old devil. Satan, I cast you in the pits of hell. I plead the blood of Jesus against you, Satan. So when you're praying, who are you praying to? Because a lot of people think that Satan is this, if not this one, they think that Satan looks like this. And they actually think when they praying and they sending these petitions up, they actually think they rebuking something like this or some type of mythological dark unseen force. But I want to tell you once again, brothers and sisters, when you're praying, brothers and sisters, listen closely. They got you, especially if you sleep and you don't know your nationality as a Hebrew Israelite. When you are praying, they got you rebuking Satan in the form of a mythical creature or an unseen force instead of rebuking the actual heathen. I'm going to keep saying that. They got you, guys. Especially if you heavily Christianized, if you are affiliated with any religion, any religious institution, they got you rebuking Satan in a mythological form. I rebuke you, Satan. You think you rebuking this mythological force or this creature or this unseen dark energy. You know, instead of rebuking the actual heathen, you're supposed to be rebuking the actual heathen. Because, guys, these are the actual heathen in the red box. So when you pray and when you say, I rebuke you, Satan, I rebuke you, devil, you know, I plead the blood of the Messiah upon you. Get thee behind me. You supposed to actually be sending prayer petitions up to the Most High concerning these nations in the red box. The nations in the red box, this is what you call Satan. This is what you call the devil. These are the Satanists. These are the devils, the ones in the red box. So when you are praying, especially if you don't know the truth as a Hebrew Israelite, when you are praying, guys, because we know the 12 tribes, the Hebrew Israelites, we know that they are the blacks, Hispanics, Latinos, and Native Americans. Wait a minute. Let me scratch it out right quick. Let me stretch it out right quick. So, okay, guys, I hope you can see it. Let me minimize it now. I don't know what's going on. Okay, wait a minute. So number one is the nation of Israel, right? The 12 tribes. Now, who are the 12 tribes? I don't have to keep repeating this for the ones that been following me for some time, but for the ones that's unfamiliar with this, the 12 tribes of Israel is the blacks, Hispanics, Latinos, and Native Americans. So if you don't know your nationality as a Hebrew Israelite, and you know you might be a lost sheep out here, you know, you might be brainwashed still going to the Christian church. You're not going to know, you know, when you're praying, you're going to be rebuking, you know, the wrong thing, man. When you're praying, you're talking about, devil, get thee behind me, Satan, I rebuke you. Actually, please, when you're praying, don't have this in mind. Once again, don't have this in mind. Satan, I rebuke you. Devil, I rebuke you. You know what I'm saying? When you're praying, you may have this in mind or something. I don't know. But please, I hope not. But when you're praying, guys, don't have that in mind. When you rebuke Satan or you rebuke the devil when you're praying, you actually supposed to rebuke. I'm going to show you Satan and the devil. The ones in the red box. The so-called white man, East Indians, Arabs, you know, Africans, you know, Japanese, Chinese, the heathen. They are your enemies. So when you're rebuking Satan and the devil, please don't be praying to some unseen force, some mythological creature. Rebuke these actual heathens. They are in the form of Satan and the devil. And I'm going to show you in the Bible. So you may say, well, how you figure that? Because Satan, once again, does not look like this. Satan does not look like this, guys. This is what you've been led to believe. But actually, we need to go into the scriptures to clear a lot of things up. So when you go into the scriptures, I'm going to type in Satan so you guys can see. So I just typed in Satan, Satan. Now, Satan can be found in many book, chapter, and verses in the Bible, the name Satan. Now, I'm just going to choose 1 Chronicles 21:1. It says Satan, right? So when you go into the tools, you need to enter and understand what Satan is. I did a video many months back on this, so I'm not going to do too much on it. I'm just going to brush on it. So Satan right here. Satan is Shaitan in Hebrew, okay?
Strong's H7854, Satan.
Satan, right? Hebrew 7854 or 7854. And when you go into Satan, guys, it says adversary, as you can see right here. This Satan is an adversary, one who withstands. Basically, in general, adversary, guys. As you can see, adversary. You see adversary more than anything. Adversary. You see adversary. So Satan, Shaitan in Hebrew, which is Hebrew 7854, Shaitan, it means adversary. All right? No matter where you go in the Bible, when you come across Satan, it just means adversary. Now, I'm going to show you something now. So we need to go over to Google, right? Because I hope you don't believe Satan looks like this. So when you were praying, you gotta be actually rebuking something. Don't rebuke this because this is mythological. Don't rebuke Satan in the form of this, or don't rebuke the devil in the form of this because this is mythological. When you pray, you got to rebuke. You praying against something. So if you're thinking you're praying against, if you're thinking you're rebuking Satan in the form of this, no, you've been brainwashed. When you pray, you got to rebuke the heathen. They are Satan and they are the devil. And I'm going to show you this, the ones in the red box. So when you pray, please rebuke these people. Now, I'm going to show you this. So we just showed you that Satan means what? It means the adversary, guys. Satan in Hebrew, it means the adversary. So we need to identify what adversary means. So when we go over here to Google, I'm going to type in define adversary. Define adversary. Okay, so define adversary. As you can see it right here. It says adversary, guys.
Adversary.
It says adversary. Now, what is it? It says one's opponent. So that's one's opponent in a contest, a conflict, or dispute. So that means you got somebody or someone in a contest, conflict, or dispute with you. And that's the adversary.
Adversary.
You see? There's someone that is competing or trying to bring you down, somebody that's contrary to what you're doing. They the opposition to what you're doing, and they're in contest, conflict, or dispute with you. See that? A combatant, a challenger, a contender, a competitor. You know what I'm saying? Antagonist, an opponent, a foe. You know what I'm saying? An enemy. That's what adversary means. So you ask yourself this question. So who are basically in contest, conflict, or dispute with the blacks, Hispanics, Latinos, and Native Americans? Because they are the Israelites. And let me show you. So blacks, Hispanics, Latinos, and Native Americans are the 12 tribes of Israel. They make up the 12 tribes of Israel. So you ask yourself, when it comes down to Satan, because Satan, it means adversary, which means one's opponent in a contest, conflict, or dispute. So you ask yourself, against the blacks, Hispanics, Latinos, and Native Americans, who are in a contest, who are in a conflict or dispute, who are counted, and when you read the Bible, who is counted as our enemies? Who is counted as our foes? Who is counted as our enemies, our foes, and who is in contest, conflict, or dispute with the nation of Israel, which are blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans? Let me show you guys. The ones in the red box. The heathen are, the Gentiles are, the white man is, the East Indians, the Arabs, the Africans, the Chinese, Japanese. You see, the ones in the red box, they are in what? They are in a contest. They are in conflict. They are in dispute with you. They are your opponent. They are your enemy. They are your foes. Guys, please. Now, another word for adversary is enemy, right?
Enemy.
Now it says an enemy is a person who is actively opposed or hostile to someone or something. Now you tell me, who is hostile towards the blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans? Who is their foes, adversary, opponent, and rivals, nemesis, antagonists? Who is hostile to the blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans? Huh? The heathen are. That's who are. The heathen, the ones in the red box, the white man, and so forth. So they are actually the devil, or what you call Satan. You see that? And I'm showing you guys straight up. So Satan means adversary. You see that?
Adversary.
Now, adversary is somebody in a contest, conflict, or dispute with someone. Let me tell you something, guys. The heathen has always been in contest, conflict, or dispute with the chosen people. Let me tell you, blacks, Hispanics, Latinos, and Native Americans, you have enemies. You have heathen Gentiles that are against you in conflict and dispute and conspire against you. They are your enemies and they are your foes. So guess what? If that's the case, if adversary means someone in the contest or conflict or dispute with someone, and adversary, if that means that, then guess what? The adversary is the enemies in the red box, the heathens in the red box. And guess what? So since we know that, we go back to the Bible and we go look at Satan. No matter what book, chapter, and verse you look at in the Bible, we look at Satan, and then it takes us to Satan, Hebrews 78:54. And when we go into that, what it means exactly the adversary. You see that? And we already know what an adversary is right here, guys. Somebody in the contest, conflict, or dispute. So that's Satan. See that? So we know who in the contest or dispute and who have conspired against us when you read the Bible. It's the heathens, the Gentiles. So let me tell you something. Now that we discovered that Satan is the adversary, and the adversary means someone who is what? Someone who is in a contest, conflict, or dispute, encountered as your foes and your enemies. Now we know that Satan is that, which is the adversary. When you pray, guys, now you have a better format when you pray, because when you pray, You won't be praying to some unseen mythological creature or some unseen force. So now when you say, I rebuke you, Satan, you know, in the name of Christ, Satan means the adversary, and the adversary means someone that is against you. So actually, to rebuke Satan is not to rebuke this mythological creature here, because you've been sold the bullshit. But when you rebuke Satan, you're actually rebuking the heathen, guys. That's what I want to show you. Wait a minute, I got, you know what I'm saying? So when you're rebuking Satan or the devil, you're praying. Don't think you're rebuking Satan in some form of mythological creature or some unseen force. No, you got to know when you pray. You got to know when you pray and you say, I rebuke you, Satan, or rebuke you, devil, you're actually rebuking the heathen, guys. When you come together and pray, you're actually rebuking the heathen. So once again, no, this is not it. So they got you rebuking Satan in the form of a mythical creature or unseen force instead of rebuking the actual heathen. You get what I'm saying, guys? You get what I'm saying? So please, I rebuke you, Satan. I rebuke you, devil. Don't think about this, because this is not what you're rebuking. Actually, you are rebuking the heathen. All right? I want to bring that out, guys. Please. So let me show you in the Bible. Let me show you in the Bible. Micah 4 and 11. In the Old Testament. Some may call it Micaiah. Micaiah 4 and 11. Micah 4 and 11. All right. Micah 4 and 11. Now also many nations have gathered against thee. See? Many nations gathered against the chosen. Many nations gathered against the children of Israel. Now we showed you what adversary means. To be an adversary. You know, Satan means adversary. So to be an adversary is to be in a contest or conflict or dispute with someone. Actually to be their enemy or their foes. Right? Right? And adversary means Satan, right? So in Micaiah 4 and 11 it says, many nations have gathered against thee. They not for us. They against us. So guess what? They are our adversary. Better yet, Satan. So these nations gathered against us that say, let her be defiled. Because that's what they want to do. They want to keep Israel defiled. They want to keep blacks, Hispanics, Latinos, and Native Americans defiled. They don't want us to return to these laws, statutes, and commandments. Because they know that's our come up. When we return back to these laws, statutes, and commandments, these heathens, they losing their power and they're going down. So they want to keep us defiled. Now, who would want to keep somebody defiled? Who would want to keep somebody defiled? Only your adversary. Only your adversary would like to do something like that. He's in a contest, a conflict, a dispute with you, because if you want to keep someone defiled, then that means you are their enemy or their foe. So who are the real Satanists? This is what I'm telling you guys. It's not a mythological creature. So when you're rebuking, when you're praying, guys, and you want to say, oh, I rebuke you, Satan. Satan is somebody. And we know that somebody. We know who they are. They are the heathens, the ones in the red box. All right. So once again, Micah 4 and 11, now also many nations, the heathens, are gathered against the children of Israel that say, let her be defiled and let our eye look upon Zion. So these heathen nations, you know what I'm saying? These heathen nations, they keep in watch of the chosen people. You see these heathen nations here? These heathen nations, they keep in watch of us. These Chinese, Japanese, East Indians, Arabs, and Africans. White people. They keep in track of us. They watching us because they trying to make sure that we don't return back to the commandments, because that's our come up. So they are our enemies. They are our foes. They are our adversaries. They are our Satanists. They are Satan. You got to know who Satan is. Okay? That's what I'm telling you. You got to know who Satan is. So basically, you can just roughly paraphrase Micah 4 and 11. Now also many nations are gathered against thee. Basically, many nations are your adversary. Many nations are in a contest, a conflict, or dispute. Many nations are your enemy or your foe, right? You can roughly paraphrase it. Have gathered against thee, and they say, let her be defiled, and let our eye look upon Zion. You see that? Now watch this, guys. I want to show you something else. Watch this. This is Deuteronomy 32:27. Deuteronomy 32 and 27. Because the heathens knew that the Most High had left us when we broke the commandments. These heathens knew this. See, when the Israelites broke the commandments, these heathen nations, they knew, they rejoiced because they knew that God had left us. And before I get in that, let me read this right here. Let me give you a precept for that. Watch this. I'm going to show you in the Bible. Now, this is Revelation. Revelation 11 and 10. Because these heathens knew when we left the commandments that was their come up. Revelation 11 and 10. And they that dwell upon the earth shall rejoice over them. See, that's talking about the nation of Israel, the two kingdoms, Judah and the house of Israel. And they that dwell upon the earth shall rejoice over them and make merry, and shall send gifts to one another, because these two prophets, the two prophets of the two kingdoms, Judah and Samaria, because these two prophets tormented them that dwell on the earth. So, yeah, because we was righteous people, and we didn't play with these heathens. So when we stepped outside the line, when we stepped out of line with God and left the commandments, guess what? They knew that there was their come up. And so you know what they did? They dwelt and they rejoiced and they made merry, because when we left these commandments. So that's what these heathens was waiting on, for us to break the law so they can gain power and come up. You see? So now when we go back to Deuteronomy 32:27, this talks about how the heathen knew that the Most High had left us and given them power. Deuteronomy 32:27. Were it not that I feared the wrath of the enemy, the adversary, Satan, least their adversaries, least their adversaries. Now we showed you that Satan means adversary. Let's see what it says right here. Adversaries. That's all it means. That's all Satan means. You know, adversary. See, an adversary is a foe, enemy, or oppressor. And we showed you, man, that Satan means the adversary. We showed you. So we're talking about Satan here. We're talking about Satan here. Our enemies is Satan. In the red box, our enemy is the devil. Deuteronomy 32:27. Were it not that I feared the wrath of the enemy, least their adversaries. Yeah, our adversaries should behave themselves strangely. Yeah, because they did that when we broke the commandments. They behaved themselves strangely. How they did that? They did unspeakable atrocities against us. Raping, robbing, and murdering us. Behaved themselves strangely. Castrating our men. Raping our women. Beating our brains out. Changing our history. Giving us a strange religion. You name it. They behaved themselves strangely when they took advantage of us, man. At least they should say, our hand is high. Because these nations knew, man, that we broke the commandments. When we broke the commandments, that was their come up. See? So these are our adversaries. You can see this. And that's Satan. So when you are praying and you're talking about, I rebuke you, Satan, in the name of Jesus, you got to know who you rebuking. You got to know who Satan is, because he's not a mythological creature. You got to know who Satan is, because it's not this. It's not this. It's not some unseen force. Satan and the devil is your enemies. They are your adversaries. They're your foes. And we showed you thus far. So I hope it's coming together. And they said our hand is high. And the Lord have not done all this. You see? So they knew. They knew that, man. And I'm going to show you something else. And when you go in, see, we can see right there, it says adversaries, right? So when you go in Judith, in the Apocrypha, I'm going to show you that. So we showed you that right there, guys. Let me duplicate this. Now I'm going into the Apocrypha. King James Apocrypha. The books that was taken out by the Roman Catholic Protestants. And I'm going to Judith. Judith chapter 5. Beginning with verse 20. I'm going to show you something. In the King James Apocrypha. Now watch this. This is the book of Judith 5 and 20 in the Apocrypha. Now therefore, my Lord and Governor, if there be any error against these people, and they sin against their God, let us consider that this shall be their ruin. This is what the heathen said. You know who said this? You know who said this? The ones in the red box. These heathens, the adversary, Satan, the devils in the red box. They said this. These heathen nations, Chinese, Japanese, East Indians, Arabs, Africans, white people, our foes, our enemies. They said this, our adversaries. Judith 5:20. Look at it, guys. Now therefore, my Lord and Governor, if there be any error in this people, basically if the children of Israel stop keeping these commandments, and they sin, because we know that sin is the transgression of the law, and they sin against their God, let us consider, the heathen said, let us consider that. Let us consider what? Considering if y'all mess up and y'all go and break these commandments, that this shall be y'all ruin. That's y'all ass. And let us go up, and we shall overcome them. So don't think these heathens wasn't waiting on the sideline. Don't think they was not waiting on the sideline for the blacks, Hispanics, Latinos, and Native Americans to break these commandments, because they knew breaking the commandments was their come up. These heathens knew that. The only reason why they gained power and control over us because we stepped outside the law. And that's exactly what Judith 5:20 is telling you in the Apocrypha. That it was error found in our people. We sinned against our God. And then this became our ruin because the heathens got above us. So you want to get back above the heathen? You want it to be like this? Number one, Israel number one above the heathen? You got to return back to these laws, statutes, and commandments. But guess what, guys? Guess what? The heathen, they don't want you to do that. They don't want you to do that. That's why Micah 4:11 said, let's keep them the foul. Let's keep our eye on them. They don't want you to do that. So guess what? It seems like if they don't want you to return back to these commandments to get your power and rule like you did in the beginning, it seems like you have adversaries. It seems like you have somebody in contest, conflict, or dispute with you. You have foes and enemies and nemesis and antagonists and combatants and challengers and contenders and competitors. You have an adversary. And what is adversary? Another word for Satan, Satan.
Adversary.
So guess who is Satan? Satan is all the ones in the red box. So when you're praying, guys, I hope you're not rebuking some mythological, fictitious creature. When you're praying, I hope you're not rebuking some unseen dark force. I actually hope when you're praying that you're rebuking the heathen. So I'm basically going into deeper detail to explain what is Satan and the devil. I did a video on this already, but this is deep. This is going into deeper details. So now you know. Judith 5:20. Error was found in the nation of Israel. We sinned, and that became our ruin. And the heathens overcame us. You see? That's what happened. Judith 5:20. Now another thing I want to show you guys. So you can bet that these heathen, you can bet that they don't want us to return back to the commandments. And they Satanists, and they're our foes. Back into the King James Bible, Jeremiah 50:7. Wait a minute. Jeremiah 50:7. It says, Jeremiah 50:7, all that found them, all is the heathen. All that found them have devoured them. See, that's what the heathen done to us. Who are the heathen? I'm going to keep refreshing your mind. The ones in the red box. White people, Chinese, Japanese, East Indians, Arabs, Africans. They devoured them. They devoured the Israelites. They destroyed the blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, the Israelites. And after they did it, they rejoiced. All that found them have devoured them. And their adversary said. Their adversary. What is another name for adversary? Satan. So it seems like all that devoured us, these heathens, Chinese, Japanese, East Indians, Arabs, Africans, white people, it seemed that all that devoured us, the Bible says that's our adversaries. And so if that's the case, your adversary is Satan. So guess what, guys? He didn't devour you. He didn't devour you because this is a fictitious, fabricated, mythological creature that was made up by the so-called white man, which is a liar. So he never devoured you. He never did anything to you. because this is fictitious. This is mythological. This is fantasy. All right? This is an illusion that the Christian church, keep many individuals in darkness with. He never did a damn thing to you. Guys, neither did he. So you can just cast these to the side because the Bible tells you that. So it says, all that found them have devoured them, and their adversaries said. That's talking about the heathen. That's all adversaries, and adversaries mean Satan. So who is real Satan? So when you rebuke Satan when you're praying, who do you truly supposed to rebuke? The heathen, which is the Satan. So you want to plead the blood of Christ against somebody, plead it against the heathen. You want to cast somebody in the pits of hell, cast the heathen down there. That's why I'm telling you, if you're in the Christian church, you're not going to know this. All right? Now, our adversary said, we offend not, because they have sinned against the Lord. So basically, when the heathen was afflicting us, when these heathen nations took us in servitude in terms of slavery and captivity, and did all these unspeakable atrocities, raping our women, castrating our men, they did many unspeakable atrocities. Torturing us with cotton screws and thumb screws. They did many unspeakable atrocities to us, man. These heathens said, we offend not. Basically, they were saying, we didn't do nothing wrong. Don't look at us like we doing nothing wrong. The heathen said, I don't see nothing wrong. We done. That's what it means, we offend not. They said, we ain't did nothing wrong. Because it was y'all Israelites that sinned against y'all, Lord. If anybody sinned against their God, it was y'all Israelites. So the heathen said, when we jack y'all niggas up, y'all wetbacks, y'all tomahawks, that's what they call us. When we put y'all niggas and Hispanics in servitude and slavery, when we had you hog tied up, when we was lynching you, when we was harshly mistreating you, despitefully misusing you, we didn't do anything wrong. That's what it means, we offend not. Because the heathen said, if anything, y'all sinned against y'all Lord, and the Lord set us up to do that to y'all. See? In the habitation of justice, even the Lord, the hope of their father. So the heathen said, we didn't do a damn thing wrong when we was afflicting y'all, beating the hell out of y'all. And I'm going to show you this. The heathen said it was because y'all sinned against y'all Lord. Because if we would have never sinned, we would have kept the commandments, we wouldn't have had captivity to fall upon us. Now watch this in the Apocrypha. I'm going to show you something in the Apocrypha, because this is very powerful too. Watch this. Going back into the King James Apocrypha. We are in the book of Sirach, also known as Ecclesiasticus in the Apocrypha, 33rd chapter. I'm going to begin with verse 10. Watch this. It says, now listen up. Hope you guys can see it. It says, verse 10. It says, all men are from the ground, and Adam was created of earth. It says, in much knowledge the Lord had divided them. So the Most High, out of all these nations of people, he divided them. And he made their ways diverse, because we don't have the same spirit as you heathens. He made everybody with different type of characteristics and cultures, philosophies and things of that nature. So, all men, Sirach 33 and 10, all men are from the ground, and Adam was created of the earth, because we all come from Adam. But Sirach 33 and 11, and much knowledge the Lord divided them. See, it was never meant for us to integrate, because the Most High divided us because he wanted to take out a special nation for himself, and that was the nation of Israel. See, and he made their ways diverse, Sirach 33 and 12. It says, some of them had he blessed, and that's the nation of Israel, because he gave us the commandments, the oracles, and exalted, and some of them have he sanctified. That's the Israelites. And then it says, and he set near himself. The people he set near himself were the chosen people, Israel. But it says right here, but some of them have he cursed and brought low, and turned out of their places. And who are the people he cursed and brought low? They are the heathens. They are the ones in the red box. So if you're not black, Hispanic, if you're not so-called Negro ending in descent, or what they call black, Hispanic, Native American descent, and you fall in the red box, guess what? You are the ones that he cursed and brought low and turned out of their places. Now, I know what you're going to say. Well, that's not fair. That's not fair that God chose the blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. First and foremost, we didn't ask to be chosen. It's just a blessing. We didn't ask to be chosen. But if you are black, Hispanic descent, you better praise the Most High, because we didn't ask to be chosen. We just happen to be the chosen people. He loved us and applied the commandments to us. But what if the ones in the red box say that's not fair and that's racist? Well, I got something for you. Sirach 33:13. Sirach 33:13. As the clay is in the potter's hand to fashion it, because the Most High, he's the potter. He's the creator. And the clay is the nations, or what you may call people. So as the clay, which is the people in the potter's hand, in God's hand, the Most High's hand, to fashion it as his pleasure. You can't tell the Most High that's wrong for choosing the nation of Israel and cursing and bringing you heathens low. He can do whatever the hell he wants to, because he can do as his pleasure. Sirach 33, Sirach 33:13, he can do as his pleasure. So man is in the hand of him that made him to render to them as like it him best. Now watch this. Sirach 33 verse 14. Good is set against evil, and life against death. So good is set against evil. Who are the vessels of mercy? The Israelites. Who are the children of the flesh? The heathen. So good is set against evil, and life against death. Who he gave life? The Israelites. Who he cursed and gave death? The heathen. So is the godly against the sinner. Who is the godly? The blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. We spiritual people. Even though we went off by breaking the commandments, but the Most High is returning us back to that area. So is the godly against the sinner. Now, who are the sinners? You know what I'm saying? And the sinner against the godly. So basically, Sirach 33 verse 13 says, as the clay is in the potter's hand to fashion it as his pleasure. Basically, the Most High can do whatever the hell he want to do, man. He can do whatever the hell he want to do. But now these heathens got a problem, because the Most High elected the nation of Israel as his chosen. He didn't elect them in the red box. He cursed them and brought them low. So now, guess what? They became our enemies, foes, and adversaries. Now, since he did that to them, now they are in what you would call a contest or conflict or dispute with us. They got a problem with us. So adversary, another word for adversary is Satan. So when you holding hands, standing in a circle, and you're praying, I rebuke you, Satan. I plead the blood of Christ against you, Satan. I hope you're not talking about this. I hope you're not talking about this. Like the Christian church I led you believe. But what I hope you're talking about, I hope you're rebuking these in the red box. They are the true Satanists, because they are your adversaries. They are your enemies, your foes. So guys, I just wanted to put that out there, man. I told you I didn't want to make this video too long. But now you know. Guys, please don't have them. Don't have the media, the government got you, rebuking Satan in the form of a mythical creature or unseen force, instead of rebuking the actual heathen. Okay? Don't have them wash you down the drain like that. And another thing, when you think about adversaries, look at this. Look at that word good. When you think about adversaries, you think about adversity. Now watch this. Adversary. You think about adversity, because adversity comes from adversary. Well, what is adversity? Define adversity. Now you see within adversity, that comes from the root word adversary. Adversity is difficulties, misfortune. Bad luck, trouble, basically trouble, hardship, trial, sorrow, misery, affliction, suffering. So who was set up to bring you adversity? Your adversary. That's where adversity comes from. Adversity. It comes from the adversary. The adversary have put adversity on the chosen people. So guess what, guys? Satan, which is the adversary, which is in the red box, these heathen nations, they are your adversary. And guess what? They have placed adversity on you. You see? They are the ones why you catching, difficulties and hardships, suffering and affliction and sorrow and misery and misfortune and heartache and, what I'm saying, heartbreak. And they are the reasons you catching all this, because what did the Most High do when Israel broke his commandments? Deuteronomy 4:27. The reason why you catching adversity because you are in the midst of your adversaries. Now watch this, Deuteronomy 4:27. And the Lord shall scatter you among the nations. Israel broke the commandments. So the Most High scattered us among the nations. And it says that the Israelites, you shall be left few in number among the heathen. So we are among the heathen, guys. When he scattered us out and took us from the Holy Land, he scattered us in several captivities in different land masses. And he placed us among these adversaries, among these Satanists. So if you're among the adversary, guess what? The adversary is going to make sure you're going through adversity. You get what I'm saying? Because we was left and few in number among the heathen. So that's why we've been catching hell. We've been trying to get away from this adversity, man. We've been trying to escape this adversity. So if you're catching adversity, you can only catch adversity from your adversaries. And once again, that's where adversity comes from. You see that?
Adversity.
It comes from adversary. Your adversaries is here to put adversity on you. An adversary goes back to Satan. So he's the reason why you've been troubled and your heart been heavy. But guess what? In the Christian church, guess what? In the Christian church, they wouldn't know that. In the Christian church, they wouldn't know that because Christianity teaches you not to identify who your enemy truly is. Christianity wants you to believe that your enemy is a mythological creature, that looks something like this or some unseen force. So the Christian church was set up to keep the Israelites, blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans from identifying who the real Satanists are, who is really Satan and the devil. You see, that's the main agenda of the Christian church in terms of brainwashing the appointed people, the blacks, Hispanics, Latinos, and Native Americans. See that? So another thing, when you think of adversary, you think of adversity. Now, we can go in the scriptures, man, and show you that in the scriptures. Adversity. We already showed you adversary in the scriptures. Now, adversity. Now watch this. I'm gonna pick a good one. Watch this. Psalms 94:13. That thou mayest give him rest from the days of that thou may give him rest from the days of adversity. Psalms 94:13. And that's from your adversaries, until the pit be digged for the wicked. And the wicked is the heathen. You see? You know what I'm saying? You could just, Isaiah 30:20. It says, though the Lord give you bread of adversity. What is bread of adversity? Bread of adversity is slavery, because that happened to the blacks, Hispanics, Latinos, and Native Americans. We went in captivity for breaking the commandments, and therefore the Lord gave us bread of adversity, which was slavery. Who put the slavery on us? He gave us bread of adversity. So who put adversity on us? Who put adversity on us? Our adversaries. See, so he gave us bread of adversity. The water of affliction, that's weeping and mourning and crying. Yet shall not thy teachers be removed. Basically, the Most High is going to set up appointed prophets, and we're not going to be moved out of proportion anymore or into any corner anymore, but thy eyes shall see thy teachers, and we're seeing that in the here and now. We're seeing more and more Hebrew Israelite brothers and sisters wake up and keep these commandments. We're seeing the brothers on the highways, the byways, and the hedges. So guess what? The Lord gave us the bread of adversity, and the only people can give you adversity is your adversaries, which are these stinking heathens, these stinking behind heathens. So get mad, I don't care. This is the word coming out. This is the spirit of the Lord. You see? So guys, yeah, please remember that. Now, another thing, when you think of adversity, what you think of? When you think of adversary, what you think of? You think of advertisement, right? Watch this. Define advertisement. Now watch this. Advertisement. It says a notice or announcement in a public medium promoting a product, service, or event, or publicizing job vacancy. So basically, an advertisement is like an announcement, bulletin, when you broadcast something, a commercial. Now, living in America, guys, blacks, Hispanics, Latinos, and Native Americans, living in America, we come across the most advertisements on TV. Now, what they do? Who advertising? The adversary. The adversary afflicts you by placing adversity on you, and also he advertised. So advertisement comes from adversary. So what are the adversaries advertising for? Because they want to wash you down. They want to manipulate the mind with all this wickedness. They might advertise, say for instance, they might advertise some seafood commercial urging you to buy seafood, when the Most High says that it's certain animals in the sea that we can't eat. So now watch this. I'm going to just show you something. I'm going to type in Red Lobster commercial. Red Lobster commercial. Now we know that we are not supposed to eat shellfish. That's abomination. Okay, guys, Red Lobster commercial. You know what I'm saying? Now you might see this come on TV. You know what I'm saying? I'm just showing you several illustrations here, guys. So you might see this come on TV, right? Red Lobster. Go on down to Red Lobster and get this such and such. Get this deal. Why it's lasting. You know what I'm saying? Lobster tails, shrimp, crabs. You know, go on down there. Go on down to the Lobster Fest. Red Lobster. Endless shrimp. Go on down there to the lobsters. The lover's dream. Red Lobster. Now, who is advertising this? The so-called white man, which is the adversary. So the adversary is truly the only one who truly advertise anything. He advertised. So like I said, advertisement comes from the adversary. You see? And so they announce or they post it or they broadcast it or they promote it. They promote wickedness, man. They promote wickedness, man. This is what the heathens are. This is why you see all these commercials. These blacks, you know, these Africans, white people, East Indians, Arabs, Chinese, and Japanese. So-called white man. They are here to keep you down. They are here to keep the chosen down in the red box. Those are in the red box. They are to keep the chosen down. How they do it? The adversary throws you advertisements that is negative, that don't have nothing in terms of your salvation, that's going to bring you down. Like, okay, let's say you might, you know what I'm saying? Like BET. You know what I'm saying? BET. Black, you know what I'm saying? Stuff like this. All this stuff. They are the one that's advertising. Only the adversary can truly advertise something. So when you watching TV and you being advertised and you being wickedly persuaded, that advertising is coming from the adversary, guys. You see? Which is Satan. You get what I'm saying? So once again, when you're praying, I hope when you say, Satan, I rebuke you by the blood of Christ, guys, I hope you're not having this fictitious imagery in your mind. I hope you're not talking about some type of what you've been led to believe this or some unseen force. When you pray, you should be actually rebuking the heathen. They are the Satanists. Now, I don't show you, man, so many passages. I don't know what to say. I'm about to end this video. But anyways, as you can see, now, watch this. I want to show you this, guys. So just remember that when you're reading the Bible, you come across adversary, that's Satan. That's our enemies. You know what I'm saying? Now, this is 1 Peter 5:8. It says, be sober, be vigilant. That means be aware, be circumspect. Keep your eyes peeled. Because it says what? It says your adversary, the devil. Who is that? That's the heathen. It said, because your adversary, the devil, as a roaring lion, he walketh about seeking whom he may devour. So now you know how he do it, because the adversary puts out advertisements. The adversary puts out advertisements, what they would call commercials, seeking who he may devour. You see? So ain't nobody putting these advertisements out but the adversary. Ain't nobody afflicting you in terms of adversity but the adversary. So I'm just showing you, man, he may put all kind of stuff out, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? He might put like some type of script or commercial out, like anything, any type of movies, man, sexual content, drugs, you know what I'm saying? Drug related activity, sexual content, just anything on the negative side. Anything that's conjuring dark energy, he trying to throw that on you. The adversary can only truly advertise. You know what I'm saying? You might see something like a McDonald's commercial. McDonald's commercial, and they might be broadcasting this pulled pork sandwich or something. You see what I'm saying? Look at here. I want you guys to really get this tonight. You see, it says, I don't know if you can see it. It says, new pulled pork, pickles, premium perfection, $5 pulled pork sandwich. So they promote stuff like this when the Bible said that the swine is unclean and we should not eat it. They promote stuff like this. Not only McDonald's, but you name it. The adversary are truly the only one can advertise. And when he do that, he persuades you, because we showed you that. Because why would the adversary advertise? Because he in a contest, he in a conflict or dispute against the chosen people. So when the adversary advertise, he does what? He promotes, or he broadcasts negative stuff, negative energy, wickedness, to try to persuade the minds of the blacks, Hispanics, Latinos, and Native Americans to break the commandments. You see, and that's why it says this in 1 Peter 5:8. Be sober, be vigilant, because your adversary, the devil. Now, adversary means Satan. So who is the adversary, the devil, right there? If you want to go ahead and mark, if you got a marker, highlighter, go ahead and mark 1 Peter 5:8 when it says adversary, the devil. Put heathens right by that, because that's who they are. They are the adversaries. They are Satan, because they in this. The adversary is what? The adversary gets in this conflict, contest, or dispute with the chosen. So that's who walk around as a roaring lion, walking about, seeking whom he may devour. All you heathens, all you stinking heathens. Whites, white people, Africans, Chinese, Japanese, and so forth. All the ones in the red box, man. Because if you ain't never heard it like this, you're going to get it tonight. So you'll never have to wonder again when you pray, you know what I'm saying, what is Satan, how he looks? Because he sure as hell don't look like this. But if you want to know how Satan look and the devil look, they go in the red box. They go all of them in the red box. And you going to pay for what you've been doing to Israel. All of you going to pay, man. You heathens going to pay, man. I'm going to show you this right here, Jeremiah 30:16, and this will be the last one of them out. Jeremiah 30:16. It says this right here. I got something for Satan, which is the adversary. Check this out. Heathens with Satans, which are the adversary. Jeremiah 30:16. Therefore, all they that devoured thee, because you devoured us, right? You devoured us, right? All they that devoured thee shall be devoured. See? So Satan, we gonna cage you up. And all thy adversaries, who are the adversaries? Shaitan, Satan. Who are the adversaries? The people that's in contest, conflict, or dispute. The adversary also does what? The adversary also advertise negative vibration to put on the children of Israel. And he also brings the children of Israel in a state of adversity. So we got something for you, Satan. All you heathens. See Jeremiah 30:6. Every one of them shall go into captivity, and they that spoil thee shall be spoiled, and all that prey upon thee will I give for a prey. So guess what? All you heathen nations is going to be servants and handmaids in the kingdom to the Israelites. All you heathen nations. All you going to be in chains. and the kingdom to come. Working your ass off. Okay, Satan? So guess what? Yeah, you will get the chains on you. Eventually, you're going to get shackled down. You're going into servitude. All right? And we ain't talking about this Satan. We talking about the ones in the red box. Because I don't know what the hell this is. So now you should know when you pray, get your guys up. When you pray and you start rebuking Satan in the name of the Most High and Christ, please know, don't rebuke a mythological creature or unseen force. Instead, rebuke the actual heathen. All right, guys. So once again, this was a wonderful, awesome lesson on the behalf of Solid Foundation Israelite Academy. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Share the video, and see you in the next one. Shalom.